There was so much going on bright and early this morning with freaking the markets. And if you've been following me, especially on my Instagram, I end up showing a lot of my trades and I don't know, my setups. And I've been doing it for a while. So if you followed, you know exactly that this was coming. I've been saying it for a long time. Even on this channel, I've gotten lots of downvotes by saying that Bitcoin is going to get to that $38,000 to $40,000 mark and we are going to hit 2,000. Well, look at my setup here. Okay. We had a lower low and then it reversed on us and we started going up. And then we had a consolidation point here where this to me was a fairly safe point of getting in, and it actually ended up being a what kind of triangle? Why am I freaking not knowing this? Anyway, gosh. My head is just up here. My trades are in the bottom left-hand corner here. But an ascending triangle. Jesus, why couldn't I freaking think of that? I've only done it about a billion times here. But you got to pay attention to the news. And the news was talking about having the ETF. And that ETF, that spot ETF for Bitcoin is open. There's like an 8-day window for 12 new contracts to come in from Grayscale and all of them. And one of them is going to get approved eventually. So this was a little bit of the buy the rumor, sell the news type scenario. However, it was risky enough to the point where it was okay for me to enter in. And I was telling people that, hey, if this move does not break out and stay above that $1,880, $1,900 range, truthfully $1,900 because we all like these even numbers, then we were basically screwed and we were going to go back down and retest that $1,700 to $1,600 mark. But here, let me zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see this, and you can see that we actually broke out where I was planning on going, and I ended up closing my trade, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, at least on Ethereum, a little over 2,000 because I was going, I'm not going to risk it. And look, we're sitting here hovering at 2,046. So truthfully, what I should have done is I should have sold 75% of the trade and left the rest to get stopped out. But it was too much. Like I said, I 6x'd my trading account because of how aggressive I was right now. So I'm fairly happy with how this sucker ended up. But here, where is my drawing tool? Oh, it's down here. So you had this ascending triangle, and typically we have a test, then a retrace, then a test, then a retrace, then a breakthrough. And that's when a lot of FOMO happens. A lot of FOMO happens when you're right out there, but you got to wait for the retest. Boom. And so this is where the last time I entered was on this last retest. I made money up and down when we were touching, but I ended up going big here, and boom, what happened? My plan was to start taking profits right around the 2,000 mark and continue upwards, relatively like 1950 or so, and we blew straight through it. Perfect setup. Everything went great. And now I'm kind of expecting a big retrace to happen. But this is the first gigantic move that we've really had in a little while, these past couple weeks, where Ethereum is at an 8%. Bitcoin got to that $38,000 range, right? And you can see my targets of where we were thinking going to happen if this breaks down. But truthfully, this is the same setup that we have here, right? You got one test, boom, boom, down, two test. Third test usually breaks the wall. Got up, didn't quite. So now waiting for that retest, and I will probably re-enter Bitcoin right around the $36,000 mark, maybe 35.8 or something, so that we can get back up to this 40-ish thousand where what I'm planning on, because I do believe that the bull market is starting, and it's something that now we can start making some money. But you want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success. Like, it might even be lower 35,000, because if I go back to ETH, like, we have this nice trend line here. I could really change my trend line to here, but you can see how many times that we tested it. Okay, so this closed as a higher low, which was a good indication that, hey, we are going to get a snap here. And then this guy ended up not filling this gap here, but then we got 2, 3, and 4 before it went up here. So we could have this guy go up like this for a while and then touch here right at the 2000 again. And that might be an indication to get back in on here. But there's going to be a lot of selling pressure right around here at that $20,000, $2,000 mark. So this, if you miss this move, that's okay. That's okay. For leverage trading, you can get like $100 if you use my code down below. But if you're wanting to position trade, right? If you want to position trade for the new bull market, I would wait for a retrace. Even if you're going to just try to somewhat scalp, somewhat day trade, somewhat swing trade. I'm a swing trader. My favorite chart is I love the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour, right? I am not somebody that I really like scalping much lower below that. I like keeping my stuff open for a couple days to a week to sometimes months if I'm going to position trade. So for this, if we're looking at something, I would definitely say now is the time to start packing your bags if you haven't already, because you haven't missed out, but you just got to wait for a while because we're going to get a somewhat of a little retrace. If you watched my video yesterday, I told everybody that this move was coming. This move was absolutely coming, and it did. So boom, right? My trading account, like I said, made a 6x. My position trades, I'm up a 20, 30 grand. I'd have to look back. So that's good for me. Those are something that I'm leaving open because those were opened back around the $1,500 mark. So anyway, this is Johnny Crypto. As always, I'm here to help you guys make some money quickly, but then also the longevity of it. You know, it's a weird balance that you have to have. You got to have some real risky money so that it can make up for the delay in obtaining wealth, but then you also have to have like fairly safe money that is keeping up with inflation. So it's a mix of both, especially based upon your risk analysis on like it differentiates between people. I used to be an ex-pro motocrosser and supercrosser. The other links are in my on my channel here that I do a lot of that stuff. So I'm a little bit more risky than normal people, but I'm happy with how the morning went. Absolutely happy with how the morning went. Wish I maybe should have held on a little bit longer because I ended up selling. Where is my deal? I ended up selling right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and here is the first 4-hour candle that is opening up. That is starting to be red. Right, the selling has happened. The selling has happened. We will see what ends up going on. XRP, these guys are starting to go. So just keep in mind, wait for a rebound. Wait for a retest down either on this trend line, like I was saying. Well, I did give spots for Ethereum or for Bitcoin, but for Ethereum, really, we wouldn't want to break this line here. So here, I'm going to remove my line here to keep this up here. This is going to be, I basically had it still, but back again, 1900. 1900 would be, again, possibly something where I would get involved, but we may not hit it. It may be something where if this trend line stays, we're going to be right around the bottom half, right? So 2000, a little bit under. That's what I'd be looking for, but wait potentially for the day for it to close to see what happens, because then we'll get that bounce. But anyway, I'm just talking to talk. Till next time.